The captain's commitment, your promise to business excellence. Every entrepreneur sails through predictable phases, and once you learn to recognize them, everything changes. I'm Lynette Young, and this is the Entrepreneur's Voyage. Whether you're starting, soaring, sailing, or somewhere in between, you're in the right place. Stop surviving your business. Start navigating your journey. The difference between entrepreneurs who maintain their values through every business phase and those who lose themselves along the way often comes down to one thing: conscious commitment. Most business owners make unconscious vows. They inherit definitions of success from corporate culture, family expectations, or just general industry norms. These unexamined commitments guide decisions until crisis reveals a gap between who they are and who they want to be and how they're actually operating. This captain's oath isn't a mission statement that gathers dust. These are living commitments that evolve. It's a living document as you navigate different seas while keeping you anchored to what matters most. Each vow aligns to one of the 8 P's in the 7 C's framework, and it creates a complete framework for a values-driven business and their leaders. First up, the purpose vow. I commit to building a business that serves something greater than profit alone. This vow establishes your foundational direction. This is your purpose. This isn't something you manufacture in a conference room or have in a bullet points or on a whiteboard. It's something you remember and refine throughout your journey. This commitment keeps you connected to why you started, especially when external pressures push you towards expedience. The passion vow. I commit to protecting the fire that called me to this work, even when external pressures try to extinguish it. Sustainable passion requires protection, boundaries, and sometimes evolution. This vow acknowledges that your fire needs tending. You need to feed this fire. And it's not always going to burn white hot, but it should always be burning. Not protecting it is a business responsibility, not personal luxury. The perception vow. I commit to building reputation through consistent action rather than clever positioning. Your perception in the market reflects the accumulated weight of every decision, every interaction, and every delivery you've ever had. This vow rejects the temptation to manufacture your image and follow trends, and instead commits to earning your reputation through substance. The profits vow. I commit to creating sustainable revenue that enables my mission rather than compromises it. Profit isn't the opposite of purpose. It's the fuel that allows purpose to scale. Let me just say that. Profit is the fuel that allows purpose to scale. This vow acknowledges that financial sustainability matters when you're ensuring that profit serves mission rather than replacing it. The process vow. I commit to building systems that serve my team and clients rather than just my convenience. Systems and SOPs and processes and frameworks are not bureaucracy. They are freedom. This vow commits to creating infrastructure that amplifies your impact while maintaining quality and values alignment. The right processes allow your mission to scale beyond what you can personally handle. The perseverance vow. I commit to viewing obstacles as navigational challenges rather than reasons to abandon ship. Perseverance isn't grinding through pain indefinitely. It's a strategic resilience that distinguishes between obstacles requiring persistence and situations requiring pivots. This vow commits to staying connected to purpose through difficulty while remaining open to course correction. The progress vow. I commit to measuring advancement by alignment with purpose, not just external metrics. Traditional success metrics can mislead. Revenue growth means very little if it comes at the cost that everything that matters. This vow commits to defining and measuring progress in ways that reflect your actual values and goals. Last up, the prosperity vow. I commit to creating a holistic wealth that lifts others alongside myself. This is Lynette's Jam, a rising tide raises all boats. Prosperity extends beyond personal financial gain. This is what a lot of people don't understand. They think profits and prosperity are the same thing. Let me say that again. Prosperity extends beyond personal financial gain. That includes team well-being, client transformation, community impact, sustainable business practices. This is at the root of prosperity. This vow commits to abundance that creates rising tides rather than isolated success. The 8 vows are not static declarations. They're living commitments that deepen and transform as you navigate through different entrepreneurial. When you're dealing with starting profits is very different than stalling profits. So how you're going to deal with each of these is going to be different. The paradox of being consistent and changing. Your foundational commitment needs to remain constant. Each of the core values of these vows do not change. What evolves is your understanding of what that commitment requires in different circumstances. The purpose vow always commits to serving something greater than profit. But what that looks like in the starting C, when you're testing purpose against market reality, differs dramatically from this sailing C, which is using success to serve a greater impact. The perseverance vow always commits to strategic resilience, but the soaring C requires perseverance through success pressure, while the sinking C requires perseverance through apparent failure. So they are very different ways of looking at the same thing. One of the greatest challenges that conscious entrepreneurs face is distinguishing between healthy evolution and subtle abandonment of their vows. Evolution maintains the core commitment while adapting its expression, right? So you still have your core of what you are, but how it's actually lived into the world is different. You're serving the same fundamental purpose, building towards the same vision of prosperity, but how you do it changes with your circumstances. So abandonment can look like evolution, but really it's a compromise of your core values, right? In people's heads. Like, I need to focus on profits right now and I'll get back to purpose later. Trade one for the other. That opportunity does not line with my values, but it's too good to pass up, right? Like, it feels a little sketchy and I don't know if I'm going to be able to serve that client right or whatever, but I need the money. Or I'll build the systems once things calm down. Oh my gosh, do I hear that every single day of my life? The difference here only comes clear in retrospect. You really don't see it when you're in the muck of it. You only can really see it either an outside party's looking at it, a business coach, or like after the fact is done. Regular covenant reviews help you catch this abandonment phase before it comes entrenched of the sacrifice. And when I say abandonment, I don't mean giving something up. I'm saying sacrificing your values. Each time that you navigate a challenging C, and every single C is either has plus or minuses, it's either got positives or negatives. Even sinking can have a positive, I'll be honest. I've seen it. Every single time you go through these challenging seas and maintain your purpose, your commitment to your company deepens. The entrepreneur who's kept their purpose vow through a sinking sea, through a crisis, they understand that the commitment at some level, that it's perpetual, the soaring cannot access. This is why the sailing sea represents integration rather than just success. So when I have people, they're like, oh yeah, I'm in the soaring sea, I'm in the soaring sea. I'm like, are you fully implemented and integrated? And the answer is no, they're still flying by the seat of their pants. Then you are somewhere else, you are not sailing. When you've tested these 8 vows, these 8 Ps through multiple phases and proven their resilience, then your commitment isn't theoretical, it is battle-tested wisdom. Now, I want you to take some time and create your personal leadership covenant. We've got these 8 Ps, but pick and choose as you want, depending on the sea you're in or depending on where you want to go. But a personal leadership covenant really translates these 8 sacred vows into specific commitments that are relative to your business, values, and current situation. Write them down. Unwritten commitments drift. When these commitments only exist in your mind, they're really subject to revision, rationalization, conveniently forgetting things when things get tough. You're like, well, I don't really think I needed to stick to this. Write it down, print it on something, a written vow, a written promise, a written goal, a written covenant creates accountability. It creates clarity, and it also gives you a reference point during crisis. When everything gets chaotic and decisions feel really impossible to pull the trigger on, your documented commitments provide guidance that your stress mind cannot generate in the moment. When we are stressed, and manic or not, when it's good stress or bad stress, we cannot be relied upon to make sound, solid decisions. Your personal leadership covenant should include 3 elements for each vow. You've got a core commitment. This is your fundamental promise in your own words. How do you personally express this vow in language that resonates with your values and your situation? The second is the current application. What does this commitment require right now, given your currency and your current circumstances? Now, this section is going to evolve as your situation changes, right? And then the third one, the breach indicator. How do you know when you're drifting? How do you know when you're violating this vow for yourself? What are the warning signs that should trigger you to review and go course correct? I'll give you an example. We're going to say the process vow, core commitment. I commit to building systems that serve my team and clients rather than just my own personal convenience. My processes will reflect my values and create freedom rather than constraint. So that is your core commitment, right, for process. And the current application is the soaring C. I'm currently scaling rapidly and must prioritize system building even when it feels like it's slowing us down. I commit to documenting key processes this quarter and hiring operational support within 6 months. The breach indicator, this is the guardrails. If I find myself working more than 50 hours a week for more than 2 consecutive weeks, or if my client satisfaction score dips below 90%, I am likely failing this vow and must immediately assess my systems. You're saying, what do I want to commit to? Why am I committing to this where I'm at right now? And what does it look like when my commitment falters? Start with vows that feel most challenging for you. We're not picking low-hanging fruit. The ones that make you comfortable are usually the ones that you need to pay attention to the most. Write quickly at first, like don't overthink it, just brain dump. I don't care about your grammar, don't use commas, no big deal. Your covenant will evolve through this exercise, through these revisions. The goal of your first draft is to get the commitments on paper. No one's going to see this. Don't worry about it. Messy middle. Not to craft perfect language. Now, after your draft, after you've kind of brain dumped on this, and you go through your core commitment, your current application, and your breach indicator, put it away. Don't even look at it for 24 hours. Have a good sleep. Have a cup of coffee, and then look at it the next day. Your initial reaction is going to reveal where you've been honest and where you've hedged. You're going to read this, and something's going to resonate. You're going to either go into it or pull back from it. So we're going to talk about the review ritual around this. Your covenant requires you to review and revise, constantly making it a living document versus something decorative. Now, think about these revise and review rhythms. Wow, we really like alliteration on this show, don't we? A weekly glance, right? So once a week, briefly review these commitments and keep them top of the mind. Are there any breach indicators appearing? Monthly assessment. I want you to take a deeper dive review of these current applications. Remember, I said we must prioritize system building even when it feels like it's slowing us down. Are we really doing that, right? Are there anywhere that we're starting to drift off course? Are there any breach indicators? How have circumstances changed? Do I need to make course correct? Are they still relevant? Maybe you did this and you're like, okay, well, we've already gotten all our systems down and we have a great cadence for this. So now it's not relevant anymore. Quarterly deep dive. Oh, we're doing the heartbeat all the time. We don't need a big review. You do. Are your core commitments still accurate? Has your understanding of something deepened? Are there any vows that fundamental revision? We thought they were important. We started putting them in practice and they don't make sense for us at all. So chances are your core commitment is correct, but the application is wrong. So if you are recognizing that you are drifting into a different of the 7 C's. I want you to review the whole thing, right? Once you slip into a different C, you really have to start over. You have different vows, different P's to follow, even if they are the same. Like I'll give you the example. Stalling and sinking are connected, but one is a higher level of the other. So the 4 P's will apply to both of them, but their meanings and their application are different. So you really have to pay attention to that. I have not found that a company can really stay in any one particular C for more than 24 months. So if you're stalling, have hope in that. If you're sailing, have hope in that as well. Let's go back to the breach protocol. What happens when you start slipping? This is not marriage. You should not violate your vows, but in business, every entrepreneur does. We all make concessions when things get hard or when things get good. The question isn't whether you'll breach it, but how you will respond when you do. Are you going to react or are you going to respond? It is so core to me that you must calculate and respond, not just react. Self-compassion without self-deception is the goal. Acknowledge the breach happened, you faded off course, and don't be so harsh and self-judgment. You know what? We all are doing the best that we can on any given day. But today's a new day, so let's course correct and go forward. When you identify a breach, I want you to name it. Put a name on it. Name it clearly. Which vow did you violate and how specifically? So if we were going back into you're in the soaring sea and process, you're like, yes, we're going to make all these great processes so we can onboard people quicker and get more people in the team to help. And you did it for a while and then you drifted off, or your employees were like, the boss isn't checking on me, so I'm not going to do it. How drastically did you ease off from making a process, or did you abandon it altogether? Name it and to what severity level. The second is understand the context. So what pressures or circumstances came around? Maybe you were like, okay, I'm soaring, we're ramping up, and then boom, out of nowhere, an even bigger fish came in and you're just dying under the pressure. Or you're stalling and think you're doing good, and all of a sudden your biggest client pulls out from under you and now you're sinking. What's your excuse? What were the pressures, internal or external, and what were the circumstances that contributed to you failing and having this breach? Because we do fail. That's not an F word. Assess the impact. What consequences resulted from the breach? So if we just stopped being gung-ho on making processes and documenting processes, we may not feel it right now, but we're going to have problems in the near future. You lost a big client. That's a big deal. So we didn't do something we said we would do, and the result of it was we lost a big client. What's the impact of that? Oh, we lost $200,000 this year. Fourth is recommit consciously. So reinstate your vow with a fresh understanding. What would you do differently? If I could go back in time and step through with what I know now, if I knew it back then, what would I do differently? And then that's how you act going forward. The fifth one is creating accountability. Who will help you maintain this commitment going forward? Do you have a business coach? Are you in a mastermind group? If you need one, 7seasvoyage.com, because we'll be launching soon. Who is going to be there to hold you to your own commitments? Now, some of these elements are meant for public declaration. Share them with your team, your clients, your community. Like, our business is growing and we're doubling down on X, Y, and Z to help you. We're re-engineering our user guide from the ground up, so we're having a better experience for you. Whatever those things are, publicly put yourself accountable to that. The public will keep you accountable. Other elements are personal anchors. These are private commitments to yourself that really, they should be in guiding your internal decision making. And they really don't need external visibility. And while I say radical transparency is our norm, not everything is appropriate to share. Consider which of your vows, which of these elements would benefit from public declarations, which ones help your business grow, help your team feel more taken care of and supported, and which ones serve better as private foundations. There's really no right answer to this. It's only what serves your particular situation and your particular leadership style. In closing, I feel that the captain, and you are the captain, your true responsibility means taking command of a business. That means taking care of yourself and taking command of yourself first. This captain's oath isn't about controlling everything that happens. It's about controlling who you are regardless of what happens. It's about controlling your response, not your reaction. These 8 vows create a framework for conscious leadership that adapts to changing circumstances while maintaining your core values. These aren't rules that constrain you, but commitments that guide you. These are your bumpers. As you navigate through your different entrepreneurial C's, your understanding of these vows will deepen. The purpose vow that you make when you're starting means something far richer after you've maintained it and then you're trying to get through a sinking sea crisis with it. The process vow that you draft when you're soaring and doing bang up work, that is going to transform as you build towards sailing integration. Entrepreneurs thrive across every phase, and yes, selling, and yes, sinking. They are people that don't avoid challenges. Those are the folks that face challenges with clear commitments that guide their responses. Their vows become the anchor that holds them steady during storms and the compass that maintains their direction through the fog. Your covenant is not a destination. It's not the X on the map. It's a navigation. It's a tool. It does not guarantee smooth sailing. If you require guarantees, you cannot be an entrepreneur. I said what I said. What these covenants provide is clarity about who you are, what you stand for, and who you want your business to be and what you want it to stand for, regardless of which sea you're currently navigating. The captain's true responsibility is maintaining integrity between values and actions across every phase of the journey. Your written covenant is this document that holds you accountable to that responsibility.
I'm Lynette Young, and I believe a rising tide raises all boats. That's why I'm here. That's why this show exists. If this episode helped you, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube Podcasts so you don't miss what's next. Leave a review to help other entrepreneurs find us, or visit us at 7seasvoyage.com. It's 7 like the number. Thank you for joining me on the Entrepreneur's Voyage. Fair winds and following seas.